Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, the building is on fire.
I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
I know, right? And this one was in Hollywood. This is from KTLA 5 News. Tokyo Del Sushi Bar among several businesses damaged by fire in North Hollywood.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Tokyo Del Sushi Bar was among several businesses that were damaged by a fire that broke out in a commercial building in North Hollywood Monday morning. Several fire trucks could be seen in front of the burning one-story structure in the 5200 block of North Lancashire Boulevard just after 5:30 a.m. More than 100 firefighters were sent to battle the blaze, which took more than 2 hours to put out, Los Angeles Fire Department spokesperson Margaret Stewart said. Crews initially took a defensive position, which meant they were only fighting the fire from outside the structure, Stewart said. Aerial view from Sky 5 showed firefighters attacking the blaze from ladders and rooftops. It was unclear which business the fire started in, but it appeared to have spread to all 5 units through the attic, Scott said. Listen to that again. It was unclear which business the fire started in, but it appeared to have spread to all 5 units through the attic, Scott said. The structure, which was built before 1933, had much of the roof damaged by the fire, Los Angeles Fire Department Captain Eric Scott said. Los Angeles police also responded to the scene and were seen on video detaining at least 2 people. There are 2 individuals that appear to be in handcuffs. Exactly what transpired is yet to be determined, Scott said. And I want to stop there real quick and interject that a lot of locals are saying that these were the owners. As a matter of fact, the other news outlets are reporting the 2 people that were arguing out there were the owners arguing over who was responsible. But they're saying that they actually got a third here. It was later determined that 3 men had been arrested at the scene, Officer Drake Madison said. 2 of the men were in custody for battery, and the third for a warrant violation, he said. Witnesses at the scene told KTLA the men may have been owners of the damaged businesses who got into an altercation. None of the businesses were open when the fire started, Scott said. Lancashire Boulevard had to be closed in both directions as firefighters battled the blaze. No injuries have been reported in this incident. Okay, couple interesting things to take away from this story. First of all, I want to acknowledge that this may have been an accidental fire, of course. It's very sad that this affected so many businesses around. It affected an ice cream place right next door, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second here. But here it looks like there was this fire that started in the attic. Now, according to KTLA 5, they must have been right on this, because as you can see right here, this was posted at 5:54 a.m. on June 10th. I'm assuming this happened on Monday morning, right? And it says that it happened just after 5:30 a.m. So they're already getting to it 20 minutes later, right? Very, very quick. Now, I also want to point out what's odd about that is that if this did indeed happen on Monday morning, it would seem very strange if it originated in the sushi bar, because I went to their website and they're closed on Monday. So, not really sure, and I'm not really sure why a fire would originate in an attic at 5 something in the morning, around 5:30 a.m. It just doesn't really add up unless this originated from another business nearby, but that's what they're saying. Now, obviously, the other interesting thing about this story to take away from is that we've got a couple guys in custody, and one was already on a warrant. So these guys were obviously up to something that made them bring them into custody. They weren't, maybe this was just as simply an insurance claim. Who really knows? Maybe the fight was staged. I couldn't tell you. We don't really know much yet. And I don't know much about these owners. I've looked a little into them and I haven't been able to find too much. But this was kind of a trendy place here. And this was right next to a place called Chill Rolls. There's a picture of it right there. One of those rolled ice cream places, and it looks like they took it pretty hard. And then you've got the Station Pub right there too, which also looks like it got a pretty big hit. But it looks like the whole roof of this area just got burned straight on up. Now, a lot of you have asked me, hey Patrick, do you think this might have anything to do with the LA gun story? Being the story that was found in kind of the Burbank area that we talked about some weeks ago, where some guns were found in this Hollywood residence, very expensive Hollywood residence that wasn't being maintained, and a ton of different guns were found. You may remember this. As a matter of fact, if you want to get caught up on that, please check out my video entitled LA Guns. So to answer your question, I don't know. This just happened and I'm not really sure, but I want to point out something that might give you a little perspective. Here we are on the Googly map, and you can see right in the center of your screen there, I've got pinged Tokyo Del's Sushi Bar Restaurant. And if we just cruise in there, you might be able to see the sign just above it I don't think it's locked in, but Chill Rolls, there it is right there. Chill Rolls Ice Cream is right there. There's a pizza place right around there. There's an elementary school right around there. But in relation to the question about the tunnels, I could tell you this, that right here at Chandler Boulevard, running right across the top of the screen here, and where it meets Lancashire Boulevard is the train depot here. And this is actually the NoHo Metro, the NoHo Tunnel. So there is a tunnel there built there. It's just an underpass tunnel, but there's an actual line right there. And here it is. This was a piece from NoHoArtDistrict.com. There's just a little map there talking about the opening of it. And it says, get ready, NoHo. The ribbon cutting for Metro's North Hollywood Station underpass is Monday, August 15th. So this was a while back. So it would not surprise me to find out that there are tunnels. And just to show it to you here, here's the address, 5373 Lancashire Boulevard. And you can see that just below here is where we were talking about where the fire is. So I couldn't really tell you, but to again put it into perspective, let's go ahead and zoom out and we'll show you where we were talking about. Now, right in the center of your screen, you can see there 5373 Lancashire Boulevard. That's right around the area this fire was here. And down here, more towards the bottom, really under these hills here, is where we saw the LA Guns incident. And then right here where it says Westwood down at the bottom of your screen, this is the UCLA campus, which I've demonstrated already does have a very complex series of tunnels there. We found a lot of tunnels in this area. And then just to the west of it here would be the Getty Center. And one of the Getty residences, is down here. So yes, we do know there's a lot of tunnels there. We know there's tunnels under there during the Metro. Whether or not these things have any connection, I'm not really sure, but there you go. And now for our next story. You've probably seen this video by now. There you're looking at some crazy footage of a chopper who was flying erratically over the skies of New York City. Ended up crashing on a 51-story building near 6th Avenue and 51st Street. Now there's no exact confirmation that this was our chopper, but it most certainly looks like it could be. That looks like some crazy flying there. But you'll see in this video, it kind of disappears there into the clouds, but yeah, ends up crashing on the top of a 51-story building. That's restricted airspace, isn't it? And that's a rhetorical question. I already know the answer to that, and so do you. This is from New York, CBSLocal.com. The helicopter pilot who was killed after crashing on top of a Midtown building Monday afternoon was flying in a restricted flight area around 1:45 p.m. No, the chopper crash landed on the roof of 787 7th Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets. The pilot, identified by his employer as Tim McCormick, was a former fire chief in upstate Clinton, New York, with 15 years of flying experience flying helicopters and single-engine airplanes. He was certified as a flight instructor last year, according to Federal Aviation Administration records. Okay, and it seems like he's the only one who died in this little episode here. Now, let's go back to the Googly map. If you can see kind of center left of your screen is 787 7th Avenue, just shy of Central Park South. Hell's Kitchen, not too far away here. And over here towards center right, there's Trump Tower, which also isn't very far away. Maybe Trump Tower dodged a bullet, not really sure. But it ends up on the top of 787 7th Avenue. Wow, that building happens to belong to Sidley Austin LLP. How about that? I think I'm going to have to take you back, yeah.
Got a flashback aside, yeah. Take you back, yeah.
Taking you back to the 30th of November, 2017, post 238, where Q simply says, Sidley Austin, happy hunting, Q. Well, that's funny that you would bring up Sidley Austin LLP, Q, in 2017, because he just had a chopper drop on his building. Well, this isn't the only time Sidley Austin got hit. As a matter of fact, they got hit pretty bad during the September 11th attacks. How about that? This is from Wikipedia. The terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001 personally affected the employees of Sidley Austin prior to the merger creating Sidley Austin Brown and Wood, which took place just 4 months before the September 11, 2001 terror attacks. How about that? So they merged with this other company just 4 months, and they had already made the agreement to move into this new place. The head office of Brown and Wood was in the World Trade Center, while Sidley and Austin, New York offices was located in offices on 3rd Avenue. Out of 600 employees who worked in the World Trade Center at the time of the attacks, 1 perished, a switchboard operator, Rosemary Smith. Sidley Austin reopened its New York office on Monday, September 17th, 2001, in the old Sidley and Austin office on 3rd Avenue, which it had planned on closing on September 16th. Instead, it leased 4 additional floors in that location in a deal completed less than 3 hours after the collapse of the World Trade Center. Less than 3 hours after the collapse of the World Trade Center. Sidley Austin later opened its permanent new office in the Equitable Center building on 7th Avenue in July 2002. It's probably also just a coincidence that Sidley Austin's group was one of the groups that represents the European side of the Airbus versus Boeing ongoing legal battles. And let me take you back a little bit further to 2012. Our boy Phil McConnell from Able Danger, who reported this. Presidential Phil McConnell has linked Sidley Austin alumni to a murder-for-hire service in which FADEC, being full authority digital engine controls, patented devices are allegedly being used by Sidley's joint venture partners to sabotage the Airbus and Boeing. Boy, I wonder if that has anything to do with all those 737 Maxes going down. Probably just a coincidence. Companies and extort control over the world trade in large passenger aircraft. And here's another odd coincidence from freerepublic.com. To those outside legal circles, Sidley Austin is probably best known as the Chicago law firm where Barack Obama and Michelle Obama met. Probably also just another coincidence that this Sidley Austin was working with VT Bank, which is a Russian state-owned bank. This is from PRI.org from December of 2018, less than 2 months before a 2016 presidential election marked by Russian interference. Senior State Department official Daniel Freed received an invitation to a private gala featuring an exclusive performance by the Bolshoi Ballet and a post-event reception. And we actually talked about that maybe a year or so ago. There was a lot of really sketchy things involving this ballet, but that is a different story. Clearly, your last meeting with Andrei Kostin made an impression, said the email sent by a former State Department official who now heads a trade association dedicated to business ties between the U.S. and Russia. Please see attached a special invitation for him for free and a guest to attend a VTB-sponsored gala at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Who is Kostin? The chairman of VTB, a state-owned Russia bank operating under U.S. sanctions, limiting its activity since 2014. VTB's well-connected Washington lobbyist had previously brokered a meeting between the two men to discuss the sanctions. Okay, well, they were fighting that, and let me talk about it down here. It says VTB says its work with lobbyists is structured in a completely transparent way. A spokeswoman for Sidley Austin said omitting the meetings was inadvertent and promptly corrected when discovered. Sidley Austin's advocacy team includes a former Democratic congressman from Virginia, Rick Boucher, also on VTB's payroll. Lobbyist Mike Manitos of Manitos & Manitos, who raised tens of thousands of dollars for the presidential campaign of Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. VTB has so far paid Sidley Austin and lobbying firms Manitos & Manitos a combined $1.2 million since 2015 for lobbying on sanctions, according to disclosures filed with the Department of Justice. The U.S. Treasury Department, nevertheless, announced new sanctions against Kostin himself in April. And let me leave you with one last coincidence from the Washington Examiner. This is from September 21st, 2018. Rod Rosenstein considered lawyer to Clinton ally Sidney Blumenthal for special counsel, report says. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein reportedly considered appointing an ex-Justice Department official who worked as a lawyer for Clinton ally Sidney Blumenthal to be the special counsel in charge of the Russia investigation. The New York Times published a bombshell report Friday focused largely on talk of secretly recording Trump and invoking the 25th Amendment to the Constitution to oust the president. In a statement, Rosenstein dismissed the story as being inaccurate and factually incorrect. Buried deep within the report, centered on the fallout in the days after President Trump fired FBI Director James Comey in May 2017, three sources said Rosenstein thought about appointing James Cole to the role later given to Robert Mueller, himself a former FBI director. Cole served as a deputy attorney general from late 2010 to early 2015 during the Obama years and was Rosenstein's supervisor at the DOJ in the early 90s while he was prosecuting prosecuting public corruption cases. Cole also represented Blumenthal during the Benghazi investigations that looked into the 2012 attack at a U.S. complex in Benghazi, Libya, that resulted in the deaths of 4 Americans. A former employee of the Clinton Foundation, Blumenthal shares a controversial history with Hillary Clinton, whom he informally advised on Libya while he was Secretary of State. Yeah, and he's not also just a controversial figure in the Benghazi trials. He is also a partner over there at Sidley Austin. I know, right? So, does this Southern California fire have anything to do with our LA gun story and our series of tunnels and what may be lurking beneath? Don't really know, but it's rather compelling. Does our helicopter story have anything to do with 9/11, Benghazi, or the Clintons? Seems rather likely, but that's all I got for you for now. I'm going to get back to getting pursuity. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who do that already. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, please understand that you're going to get unclicked and unnotified and unsubscribed from time to time. That's how it is on social media these days. And you're just going to have to do me a favor, do me a solid, and re-click yourself, re-notify yourself, and re-subscribe yourself. All right, all my alternate links are down below, even though I'm having a bit of issues with some of them. Gab, I'm still working with them on getting back. It seems like there's some sort of error there, and we're trying to figure out what it is. BitChute works, but hasn't been uploading over the last couple days. It does that before, and it'll probably just start working again magically once again. And Brighteon.com, although it seems to have been taken down, there in a bit of a legal battle right now, so hopefully that will come back up. But I'm over here at Twitter at IPOT1776, and you can find me at DropSpace also, which is down below. All those links are down below. My email is down below if you'd like to mail me some information. If you'd like to send me something old school, my P.O. box is down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon link is down below. They're all in the video description. All right, kids, this is Sir Patrick Mack, and until next time, stay safe.